Hi YouTube, this is going to be my second video on YouTube and I'm very excited about I was very excited about my first one, but this is my second video. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. I'm going to be talking about the time I hit someone on a bike. I hit someone on a bike. I felt really shitty for it. Anyways, so me and my friend, overall it was a great day though. It was a Thursday night, and me and my friend decided that we were hungry. We decided we were hungry. I don't know if we actually were hungry, but we decided we were. So we had gone to Domino's. We got 2 pastas, one for me and her to share, and then one for my boyfriend. We had dropped his pasta off and then went back to Domino's to eat our pasta there. Alright, we were there for like 20 minutes. It was like 6 or 7, yeah. And we're leaving Domino's. I'm taking my time because I had nowhere to be, so I just took my time. And I looked left and I looked right. I didn't look left again, so the guy must have been in my blind spot when I looked left. And I had gone just a little bit, just enough to hit this dude. And so I hit him and I'm like, oh my gosh, freaking out. It wasn't a big hit. And a guy from inside Domino's had saw the whole thing, so he ran outside and he starts laughing. And I look back and I'm like, dude, why are you laughing? Like, what is your deal? I'm like helping this dude. I'm like, are you okay? And I realized that he only spoke Spanish. So I'm trying my hardest to talk to this guy. I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, is your bike fine? He's like, yeah, it's fine. And he was gonna get up and walk or drive away with his bike. I'm like, no, wait here. I was like, I gotta call the cops. I was like, that's the right thing to do. He's like, no, don't call the cops. And I'm like, what? No. And he's like, just give me money for my bike. And I'm like, bro, what's wrong with your bike? I'm asking this dude, like, what is wrong with his bike and how much does his bike cost? And he's like, $1,000. It's not even my bike, it's my friend's bike. And he's like, it was $1,000. So he's like, just give me the money right now. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, let me just go to inside my car and get $1,000 out of my glove compartment. No one just has $1,000 just sitting around. And I look at his bike again and I'm like, this doesn't look like $1,000 bike, but whatever, right? So I'm like, yeah, I get paid tomorrow, not a big deal. And I call the cops anyways, even if this dude, like, he told me not to, but I did anyway because that's the right thing to do. And I'm like, yeah, I just hit a dude on a bike. I was like, he's fine though, but I just hit a dude on a bike. So she's like, okay, we'll send someone over there. They sent 7 cop cars. 7. So 7 cops. Plus there was a cop with 2 cops in there, or a car with 2 cops in there. So like 8. And then the ambulance came. One of the cops came up to me and they're like, what happened? And I'm like, I just hit him. And yeah. And so he goes on his little walk and he's like, cancel fire. And I was like, the fire department? Really? On the phone, I told you that this dude was fine. Why do you need the fire department? They made this huge scene. And I was like, whatever. So I park my car, and they're like talking to this guy, making him walk. They were taking forever with him, like 10, 15 minutes. And I was just so confused on why they were taking forever with this dude. The cop comes up to me, and by the time he comes up to me, I'm crying because I felt bad. And he's like, it's okay, and I think he gave me a hug, but I don't remember because I was just in shock. And he's like, it's fine, everyone makes mistakes, and you just gotta be more careful next time. And just being super nice to me. Shout out to that cop. He was super nice, super helpful for me in that situation. And I'm sorry, I'm sitting on the floor because the lighting is just super good right here, and I just feel like sitting here. Anyways, and I'm like, yeah, I owe him money. I was like, is he okay? And he's like, yeah, he's perfectly fine. He's like, his bike is fine, everything's fine. We're not even gonna write you in the little thing. We're not gonna do anything about it. It's fine. And I'm confused. I'm like, okay, well, they're not going to write it in the book. They're not going to do anything. You know, whatever cops do, they weren't doing it. And I was freaking out. And he just kept telling me, he's like, yeah, one time I had ran a stop sign in front of a news crew. And I was like, oh, okay. So he's just telling me a story on how he ran a stop sign and stuff like that. And he just made me feel really good about it. And he's like, yeah, you guys are, you know, good to go. And I'm like, wait, but I owe this guy money. And I'm like, it was his bike was $1,000. And so he looks back, you know, he looks back at the bike and he's like, ma'am, his bike was it's perfectly fine, and it wasn't $1,000. It was maybe $150. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy didn't want me to call the cops, and he wanted me to give him $1,000 for his bike that wasn't even $1,000. Like, who knows if it was even his friend's bike? Anyways, later on I found out that this guy was drunk. So he had gotten in trouble. The next day at work on Friday, someone from my work had saw me, like knows my Jeep, and they knew like what was going on. So he told people at work, you know, that I hit someone on a bike, and so it made it. No one just, if you hear, yeah, she hit someone on a bike, that sounds like bad. Someone came up to me, they're like, I heard you almost I heard you almost killed someone yesterday. And I'm like, oh, well, here it goes, you know, here goes work on Friday. Everyone's asking me what happened. I have to explain myself. And it was just a long day at work that day on Friday. On Monday, I go back to work on Monday, and another person asked me, did you hit anyone over the weekend? You know, I got people like making fun of me when I drive. They're like, oh, be careful with that biker, or you know that there's someone right there, right? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, Jasmine hates people on bikes. So now that's a new thing. Jasmine hates people on bikes. Right. I don't. That's my story on when I hit someone on a bike and I felt really bad about it. Yeah. I did. If you already heard this story, it was on Snap. But if you don't have my Snap, please add me on Snap. It is my last name dot my first name. And that's it. I really hope you guys liked my video on when I hit someone on a bike. But if you didn't like it, then I don't really care. If you did like it, like the video on YouTube, please. And subscribe. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, I gotta go now, though. Oh, shoot. I'm really sorry again. Bye, YouTube.